Yeah?
Yeah, all good.
Alright, well Steve, that was got to be the start you wanted then, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. 3 points, clean sheet, up and running.
Yeah, but I think it wasn't just the result, it was the way you had to fight for that, because they were a good team, they played some good football.
100%. Be interesting to see where they're at after 10 games, because as you say, there's some good football there, a lot of rotations, asked us a lot of questions, pulled us about a little bit, and from our point of view it's really about, you know, being rigid, holding our shape and trying to take our opportunity when it came.
Yeah, because when you looked at that starting 11, you're thinking, I didn't think that would be the starting 11, but your hands were forced, but boy did they respond.
Yeah, I mean, were my hands forced? I mean, ultimately I was very happy with that starting 11. I look through it and I feel like, you know, I trust every one of them guys to go and put a shift in, which might be a little bit of a cliche, but ultimately I think that's people that turn up, they want to see their team playing, working hard, giving it their all, and I looked around that team and I knew we'd have no problems in that department. It was just, you know, there's some goal threats in there. Trev and the three behind him, they're all more than capable of scoring. And as it happens, it was Dom who's in the line behind that popped up.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I mean, you've got to be pleased because we had to work so hard, and the whole team did. I mean, that, like they say, the back four, two fullbacks who hadn't played during pre-season.
Yeah.
You know, you got fight in the middle. And I think that's where we won, because we took the fight to them. We really fought for that. That was a real change.
I think the blueprint was set last week by Joff and Steph for the Eastbourne Town game, and I've only really kind of tried to reinforce that. So we want to be a side that teams have to work very, very hard to even get an opportunity against, let alone score. We know we've got quality to score goals, but ultimately clean sheets pay the bills, don't they?
Yeah, because I mean, even the goal was a surprise, the way that Luke won that ball and drove, but then he was so switched on, he held back and held till the runs were made, and then that ball to ping in for Dom to hit on the end was just brilliant.
Yeah, it was a good goal. I mean, you know, Luke, his home debut, I know that he has, I know he's wanted to like play in red for Tunbridge Wells for a long time. It's an ambition of his, local guy, and he was pumped up for it. He really was, and ultimately I think he's shown a bit of quality there. People think Luke Leppard, work rate, aggression, but actually there's a bit of composure and a good bit of quality there. So as they ought to be, you know, he's a senior player. He's played a lot of step forward football. Privileged to have him.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like we were trying to pick who was the man of the match in the end, and you could have said Billy Lewins, you could have said Jack, you could have said Luke. All three were brilliant, but the whole team fought. Yeah. You know, not one player wasn't interested.
Yeah, struggling to find someone who you couldn't make a case for. Look at that back four. I mean, we've rode out a little bit of pressure at times, as we've already said. Blair ain't going to be. They're not going to be a bad side. They're going to cause some problems. They've got the experience that they've always had, but they've also got a lot of youthful running and some of their rotations and interchange of movement. They're clever team. So asked us some questions. Yeah, not gonna lie.
But we answered those questions. I mean, yeah, Tommy was Tommy. We know that. But you got James today, who is just so calm and in control. You got Dan Tear back, and we know what he does. He just kills anybody. And then Harry. On the other side, it's about the only position I haven't seen him play as left back.
Yeah.
But it was just so in control. Yeah. And like you said, it started with that back post performance.
Yeah. I mean, again, Harry back from uni, he's now finished his university, so he's with us full time, which is massive. Massive fan of Harry Hudson, I am. Dan Tier, you know, doesn't even need to be said. I asked him. Incidentally, he'd always committed. It was just he's got a baby due, and it was a question of when he came back. So I'm not taking any credit for that. I'm just really fortunate that he's been able to help me out. Tom, as you say, Tom was one of the players of the season last season, and he's just carried on where he left off. James White, though, you know, that's another Tunbridge Wells lad. Literally walks here from his house. Walked straight in, looked like he'd played 50 games already.
He's going to be. We've got so many good signings that we just didn't think. Yeah, Luke raised the eyes, but James coming back, you know, that's a really good signing.
Rory, home debut.
Rory, exactly.
Yeah. Dom, home debut.
Yeah. So you've got to be pleased with that. It's such a positive feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you know, it's been a bit of a turbulent week. You know, there's still a few boys away. Obviously, Festos carrying a little knock. Frank still on holiday. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone. If I have, apologise. So it's given us the opportunity. Called in a couple of boys. Cam obviously come in today. Cam Wotton, and he got his opportunity, albeit only the last 10. Max was on the bench as well. Again, you know, trying to integrate a little bit with what Jamie's doing. I think it's good for the club long term. I think it's good for the town.
But it's interesting you say bringing the players on. What was smart today is that we actually managed that game out brilliantly. We didn't just sit back. We absorbed them, and then we took the game back to them, which made it really hard for them to do anything in the end. We managed so well.
Once you get your goal, it becomes a slightly different game of chess, doesn't it? You know, so we can kind of be compact. We can kind of manage where we want to defend, and that draws them out because you know they didn't want to come here and get nothing. So then gives us the opportunity to hit them on the break a little bit. And I ain't going to take a massive amount of credit for it because when you look at our team, Walder, obviously with the armband on, which is what Walder should be doing, just organising, you know, marshalling everything. Tom, Trev, Luke, you know, we're packed full of experience. It doesn't need me really spoon feeding them what to do, to be truthful.
I mean, that was noticeable today, was that there was a lot of talk amongst the team, a bit of fight and a bit of determination that we haven't always seen, but it was across the whole team. But like you said, there seems to be a solid spine now that you can build on.
I mean, a lot of these boys were already at the club. In fact, the vast majority of these boys were already at the club. So, you know, we've just given them a plan that obviously they've bought into. Tried to keep it simple. We haven't had a lot of time to work, so you've had to kind of go back to basics a little bit. But yeah, they're happy. They're running the changing room a little bit more. So, you know, to be honest, sometimes I wonder if I'm actually needed as anything other than a focal point. But yeah, there's some good players at this club, Will, and all it is 3 points on it. You know, it's a start. We've got a big challenge next week in the FA Cup, which I'm sure everyone wants to desperately do well in. It is a tough challenge, let's be honest. We'll hopefully get a couple of sessions in this week, so you know, small steps. We'll try and get a little bit more information into them, and we'll see where it takes us.
Well, if we can just build on this week, because you know you've had a week and you get that sort of performance.
Yeah.
You know, where
well, a lot of that was relying on the boys' default settings. Most of them know how to defend, how to shut down space, how to have a little bit of quality when we get into wide areas. So I haven't done anything revolutionary there. But again, I've kind of just basically led with what Joff and Steph and Adam did last week.
Yeah, because I mean, looking ahead to next week, you're sort of thinking, a few of the fans think it's Uxbridge, it's a bit of a free hit because we don't want to chance. But actually, I think everybody's coming now thinking we could get something here after today.
There's a bit of romance attached to the FA Cup, and we're at home.
Yeah.
And we all know that us being at home, if you guys turn up and if you guys get behind us like you did today, it's a powerful, powerful weapon for us to have.
Yeah.
Can we beat them, can't we beat them? I'm going to be brutally honest, I don't know too much about them because up until last Sunday morning it wasn't on my radar as a problem. So I've got to try and do a bit of homework and then we'll see what happens. All I ask is you guys turn up in force, get behind us, and we will put on a display that's based on hard work and dedication to the show.
What? Fight like you did today, and I think it's just natural to get behind everybody.
But who knows? They could be world beaters. So I'm not going to say anything. I need to do my homework on it. But I think all I can promise you is you'll get another performance along that campaign.
That's all we can hope. It's a brilliant start. Well done.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.